strict teacher and stop talking, or I'll send you back to honours. Yeah. Right, okay. So, number 1, right, solve. Right, so solve means the very last line reads x equals a number. So these are type 2, I think. You take out what's common. Okay? So you take out what's common. So there's a 2x common. So what's left? There's an x plus 2 left. Because 2 2s are 4 and the x has gone out, equals 0. Right, then you let each bracket equal 0. So you get 2x equals 0. And you get x plus 2 equals 0. So when 2x equals 0, divide by 2 and you still get x is 0. Here you get x is equal to minus 2. Okay, is that right? Wait, no, I see I had the marks written on something. Did I give one of you a sheet with marks on it, yeah? Claire or Carl or Vicky, is there marks written on one of your sheets? No, where did I put the marks? The sheet with the marks in it, so I don't know. Did anyone get that right and tell me what they got? I had the marks on a sheet. 10? Yeah, I think it was 10 for everything. Okay, there was 10 marks for that, so. Right, okay, the next one is factorize. So there's no solve here. This is the difference of 2 squares, so that's 5x all to be squared. Take away 6 all to be squared. How did I know it was the difference of 2 squares? I looked and saw there was nothing common. So if there's nothing common, it's either 4 terms where you group them, 3 terms where I do my quadratic, or 2 terms has to be the difference of 2 squares. Yeah, sorry, I keep doing that. If I do that, it'd be better, because then if I move it up, it doesn't make a big deal. Right? Okay, so 2 sets of brackets, 5x and 5x, a 6 and a 6 and a plus and a minus. Okay, is that right? Okay, the next one is solve again. Now, some of you use the minus b formula, that's perfect. Okay, some of you use the minus b formula and that's perfect for me. Right, I'm going to do 2 sets of brackets. I have x and x, so I want the factors of 27 that add to give me 12. Right, okay, which is 9 and a 3. Okay, plus means the same sign, so they're both minuses, equals 0. Now if I was factorise, I'm done, but it said solve, so that means that each bracket equals 0. So x minus 9 equals 0, x equals 9.
Could you use the minus b for that?
Yeah, x minus 3 equals 0, and x equals 3. Some people use the minus b and he ended up with minus 9 and minus 3. I don't know what you did wrong, but look, it's plus 9 and plus 3. Right? Okay. I presume you forgot the minus 12 when you were bringing b. You called b 12 instead of minus 12. Okay? Is that right? Okay, the next one is factorize. Now factorize, girls. Are ye set? I'm doing these with second years at the moment. Are ye set on the 2 sets of brackets? Because the way I'm teaching with second years at the moment is way easier, and this is a problem for some of you here, because you want to use the minus b formula, but you can't use the minus b formula to factorize. Did any of you ever learn like this? Okay, there's a 3 in front of that, so 3 by 24 makes 72. Get the factors of 72 that add to give me 18. Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you ever do it like that? And the factors of 72 that add to give me 18. I can have 1 by 72, they add to give me 73, so no. I can have 2 by 36, they add to give me 38, no. 3 by whatever, okay, 4 by, you go through it. Okay, and basically the one is 6 by 12. So 6 and 12 add to give me 72. Okay, so then you...
Change one of the signs of the...
Yeah, I'll get to the signs now in a minute. So you have 6x and 12x. Now, a plus means you're adding them. So when you're adding, you give them the same signs. And you give them whatever this sign is. So that's a minus and a minus. So instead of saying minus 18x, you say minus 6 minus 12. Minus 6 minus 12 will give me minus 18x, won't it? So then you have the term at the front, which is 3x squared. You have the term at the end, which is plus 24. Then you take out of these two, take out what's common. There's a 3x, and I'm left with x minus 2. Right here, I'm taking out a minus 12. When I take out a minus 12, that has to change in there to a minus, and 2 12s are 24. Brackets are the same. Huh? Brackets are the same. So then you go 3x minus 12 all over x, or times x minus 2, and that's my answer. Okay? Right, now you could do that, the two sets of brackets, 3x and x, and take your chances with the multiplying or whatever. But the minus b formula won't get you the factors, it'll get you the solutions, right? Which is not what you were asked for. Okay? I think we'll come back to those quadratics and we'll pick a method for everyone, okay, and stick with it. Do you remember some of you learn that way in third year? Yeah. It might be better because it's not guessing, it's kind of foolproof that way, as in it's a small bit longer, but at least you get the right answer. We might come back to it again anyway. Right, next one is show that a times root a to the power of 3 over a to the power of 4 simplifies to root a. Right, a on its own up top is just a to the power of 1. What's the square root of a? What can that be written as? A to the power of a half. Oh, that's to the power of 3 all over a to the power of 4. Now you have to do inside the bracket first. So a to the power of 1, a to the power of a half. There's no sign. What am I doing? Am I adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing? What am I doing? Inside the bracket. If there's no sign, you're multiplying. How do you multiply? You add the indices, don't you? So that's a times 1 plus a half is 1 and a half. That's all to the power of 3 divided by a to the power of 4. Now, raising a power to a power, the rule is you what? Multiply. So 3 times 1 and a half is 4 and a half. Into the calculator with that. Divided by a to the power of 4. Then the rule for division. What's the rule for division? Subtract. So it's the top, take away the bottom. So that would be 4 and a half, take away 4, which is a to the power of a half. And what's another way of writing a to the power of a half? Square root of a, isn't it? Which is what they said it would be. 10 marks for that, okay? Okay, next page. 49 to the power of x equals 7 to the power of 2x plus 2 plus x. They both have to be written in the same power. So this is 49 to the power of, this is 7 to the power of. What will I change them all to? What will I change them all to? 7 to the power of. Right, okay? So 49 can be written as 7 squared. So that's 7 squared, all to the power of x, equals 7 to the power of 2 plus x. Is that okay? Raising a power to a power, what do I do? Multiply. So that's 2x equals 7 to the power of 2 plus x. Once I have 7 to the power of it each side, I knock out the 7s and I get 2x equals 2 plus x. And then I put the x's on one side, numbers on the other. So 2x equals that 2, that plus x goes over the wall and becomes a minus x. So 2x take away x is just 1x or x, so x is 2. Right? Verify your answer means prove you're right. So to prove I'm right, everywhere I see an x, put in a 2 and see if I get something true. So does 49 to the power of 2, because that was x, does that equal to 7 to the power of 2 plus 2? So I'm checking to see if I'm right. Verify means you are right, prove you're right. Okay, so 49 squared into the calculator. Does someone have an answer for that? 3401? 2401, sorry, 2401. And here 7 to the power of 2 plus 2 is 7 to the power of 4. And 7 to the power of 4, if you do it on your calculator, is also 2401. So there I have proved I'm right. Okay? 10 marks for that.
Miss, I got it right. I got 7.
Did you prove you were right? Did you verify it?
Yeah, I did that.
All right, I obviously didn't see that bit. Bring it up to me at the end and I'll change it, okay? Right. Sorry? If you got x equals 2, you should have got 7. Did I give you 7? Right, who's asking me? Kate, again, will you bring it up to me at the end and I'll fix it, okay? Anything else? Yes, Orna? Yes. Right, okay, are we good? Right, next one. Solve the equation and give your answer in the form of a plus or minus b root 2. That's just basically your answer before you press S to D, before you turn it into a decimal. Okay, so this is the minus b formula. Okay, so it's minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2 times a. So a is the number in front of x squared. So what's a equal to? 1. B is the number in front of x, which is minus 6 for all those people who wrote down plus 6. Right, and C is the number on its own, which is minus 23, not plus 23. You have to take the sign as well. So then there's a minus. Then you write B. B is minus 6, right? Plus minus the square root of B to be squared, which is minus 6 to be squared, minus 4 multiplied by A is 1, and C is minus 23, all over 2 times A, which is 2 times 1. Right, okay, so minus 6 becomes a plus. So into the calculator with that and go 6 plus the square root of all that over 2 times 1. Right, okay, and press equals. Right, and when you do that, you'll get, what do you get? 3 plus 4 root 2. Right, okay. So just before you press S to D, now it said, if it said correct to 2 places decimals, you press S to D now. But it didn't, it just said in that form. So, and then you go back and you put in the minus and you get the exact same answer with a minus before it. Okay? 10 marks for that. Okay? Now, the next one was a super hard question, okay, but I thought the rest of them were okay up to that, but anyway. Right, we have a linear equation and we have a quadratic equation. Right, the linear equation has no squares in it, the quadratic has. So you take the linear equation and you get 2r minus s equals 10. Rearrange it so you have s equals or r equals. In this case, s equals. Why s equals? Because there's a 2 in front of the r and that will give me a fraction, that will be a mess. Right? So you go, this is minus s is equal to 10. When the 2r comes over, it becomes a minus 2r. Now I don't want to know what minus s equals, I want to know what s equals. So s equals, just change all the signs, minus 10 plus 2r. Is that okay?
So this is the letters replacing numbers.
Yeah, they're replacing, yeah. So when we did this in class, we had x and y, but r and s, s and y, same thing. Okay? Right. So then you come over to your quadratic, which is this one. Now, everywhere I see an s, I have to replace it. Now there's 2 s's, so I have to put it in twice. So it's r times minus 10 plus 2r minus 10 plus 2r 2b squared equals 12. Right? Okay? Multiply out what you can. That's minus 10r plus 2r squared. Now, girls, there's a minus into this bracket. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a big bracket here. I'm going to multiply in by the minus in a while. Okay? So what minus 10 plus 2r to be squared means, it's minus 10 plus 2r multiplied by minus 10 plus 2r. Right, I'm going to close that bracket, right, equals 12. I'm going to bring across that 12 now in a minute before someone shouts at me. Okay, so that's minus 10r plus 2r squared. Now leave it until the end in the bracket because the minus is going to change all the signs, so don't change them just yet. So that's minus 10 multiplied by minus 10 plus 2r, and then that's plus 2r multiplied by minus 10 plus 2r, close big bracket, equals 12. I'll bring across that 12 in a minute. Okay? Right, so that's minus 10 plus 2r, right, minus, I'm still not ready to multiply into the bracket. Multiply out these, that's 100 minus 10 by minus 10 is plus 100. Minus 10 by 2r is minus 20r. Next bracket, plus 2r by minus 10 is minus 20r.
First year soccer training after school is cancelled due to the weather. Again, first year soccer training cancelled after school due to the weather. Thank you.
2r by 2r is 4r squared. Right, okay, equals 12. Now in the next line I'm going to multiply in by the minus. Multiplying in by a minus, girls, changes every single sign inside. Right, okay. Carol, are you on your phone? Right, good. I just couldn't see, but you were very intently looking at something, so I was like, minus 10r plus 2r squared. Multiply in by a minus, changes all the signs inside. So that becomes minus 100. Then we have plus 20r. Then we have plus 20r. And then we have minus 4r squared. Right, now bring over your 12 minus 12 equals 0. Okay? Tidy it up, put your r squared term first. Okay, so 2r squared minus 4r squared is minus 2r squared. All your r's, minus 10r plus 20r plus 20r would become plus 30r. Yeah. Plus 30r, right, and then I have minus 100 minus 12 is minus 112 equals 0. Now, right, you may spot everything divides by 2, so I'm going to divide everything by 2. And you get minus r squared plus 15r minus, divide that by 2, you get 56 equals 0. Now, if you're doing the minus b formula, off you go, right? But I'm just going to do 2 sets of brackets. And if I do 2 sets of brackets, I need the r squared term to be positive. So I'm going to change all the signs right away across. So you get r squared minus 15r plus 56 equals 0. So 2 sets of brackets, r and r. I want the factors of 56 that add to give me 15, so that's 8 and 7. And 2 minuses. So minus 8r minus 7r gives me minus 15r. Right, okay. Then I need to let each bracket equal 0. I'm going to come over here if that's alright. So r minus 8 equals 0. So that means r is equal to 8. And the other bracket was r minus 7 equals 0. And that means r is equal to 7. Then for each r, you have to get a matching s. So each r, you have to get a matching s. So you go back up to this line here. S is equal to minus 10 plus 2r. So s is equal to minus 10 plus 2 times 8 into the calculator of that, and you'll get s is equal to 6. So when r is 8, s is 6. Right? Then over here, s is equal to minus 10 plus 2r. But you've just figured out r is also 7. So that's minus 10 plus 2 times 7. And when you do that in the calculator, you get s is equal to 4. So that's another answer. R is 7, s is 4. So r is 8, s is 6, or r is 7, s is 4. Okay, there's a fierce amount of maths in that. Fierce amount. Okay? But some people got it fully right, just so you know. Some people in the room actually got this fully right, which I was very impressed with. Okay? And really well done. Yes.
Do you know for the, once you get the, where's it gone? Sorry, the minus or squared plus 30 or minus 112, do you have to divide that by 2 to be the minus b formula?
No, you don't have to divide it by 2 and use minus b formula.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry? Yes. Right, okay. And that was the end of the test. Right. Okay, so I'm going back to area and volume now.
Yes, I saw you do one.
Yeah. And Kate, you might as well